Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Build That House with me. I'm Jim. Build That House with Jim, I'm Jim. And it's going to be a great episode. We're going to do some natural gas pipe installation. We're going to continue to repair a couple leaks and have the plumbing system inspected. We're going to continue to do these facade walls. We are going to continue. Well, hopefully we'll get the door back, and that'll be kind of fun to see how that works from the doorman. It's going to be a good one. Let's go. All right. So I put in about 5 hours, so I thought, oh, yeah, I could film a little bit. Basically put that high density foam insulation board, putting that facade wall in, and getting it ready. Tomorrow's kind of an exciting day. We got John, the natural gas guy, coming over, and he's going to do the 1/2-inch iron natural gas pipe. Yeah, so just booging along here, and we'll wrap this up, and I look forward to tomorrow. Also going to put an expansion joint in here because there should have been one. That's so when the house sinks or expands at different times of the year, whether from soil compression or God knows what, if this goes up and down, this expansion contraction joint will actually stop it so that your plumbing doesn't like rip itself apart. And here it is actually right here. Expansion contraction joint, or I think they call it an expansion joint, but so this collar goes in and out, and there's some O-rings in there, so it still can hold fluid. And so we're going to install that. Also had some problems with either this, I can't remember if it was this, or this, it was leaking. So I'm just going to re all that out, put the expansion joint, which was forgot anyway, so it's kind of a blessing because this will be easier to replace whilst putting the expansion joint in there. So there's another task for tomorrow, and we'll carry on. All right, so this steel pipe here, it's called 1/2-inch because the inside diameter is 1/2-inch, and that's a threading machine. So it cuts these threads, and they'll put Teflon and like some dope on here. And let me show you what's going on. These guys are drilling holes, so it's dark in here. They're drilling holes through this wall here. I don't know if you can see them. Straight down the line. They're gonna feed that pipe through there, thread them, dope them, Teflon them, join them all up, and go right through this wall. And then they're gonna go up to the fireplace. So it's cool, we're getting natural gas today. Very exciting. All right guys, so as you can see, there's the 1/2-inch iron natural gas line. And they got as far as the corner here. And then they've gone up. So tomorrow, or the next session, I don't know when that'll be, but they'll come across, like I say, go to the fireplace down here, up to the potential range for the kitchen, and definitely the barbecue box out on this deck here, which is right up here. So I'm pretty happy with today's work. I'm not happy, however, with trying to mitigate the leaks in the plumbing thing. We were able to replace this piece here and put a compression piece in like I was telling you about earlier. So tomorrow I'll test all of this. This has all been re-and-read. And then upstairs I fixed a leak, and which is great, but I found 2 more leaks. And this compression fitting is leaking right here, right along the top here. You can see that water. So, I don't know. I don't even know how to deal with that because it's glued to here. So, I may actually have to make relief cuts and remove it somehow. Had this been here, then you could have just cut it in, but And then upstairs, there's another little pinhole leak, which I think I can fix with a little glue. So I'll fill up this other side tomorrow and hope for the best. I gotta tell you, it's tough when you got 2 leaks, you fix the 2 leaks and 2 more leaks appear. So it's kind of like, you know, the way this is. It's always a grind, but I'll work through it. All right, here's a little pro plumbing tip for you guys out there that probably will never do any PEX plumbing, but just in case you do, these are called PEX rings, and they tend to slide around before you give them the final crimp. So what you do is you just go around with a pair of vice grips, pliers, whatever you got, and just give them a little bit of a pinch so that they stay in place, because if they slip too far back, then you won't have a good crimp. So, interesting little plumber's tip, brought to you by Jim. As you can see, I've put the water on there like so and filled it up. And after repairing, I don't know, 3 or 4 leaks over the last week or so, they're all holding. And so this whole thing is filled with water. And all those glue joints are holding a lot of water. I think that's water that trickled down from when it overflowed a minute ago. So that's nothing to be concerned about. Yeah, so now I'm gonna test the final one. This has been a challenge, folks. It's been a little stressful, but I'm working through it as I do. Alrighty, we're on day 2 of natural gas line installation. Interesting fun fact. These are 10-foot lengths of 1/2-inch iron natural gas pipe. So it's difficult to feed them in a house. So basically you go through the external wall and go straight through the side of the house and push it through that way. Assemble it, push it, assemble it, push it. Very cool. All right, finally just getting around to cleaning up around the house. The last 4 years, this backyard has been upside down. So a little aggregate down there around the perimeter, a little fire prevention and weed control at the same time. So we'll see how it goes. If I have time and the energy, I'll see if I can get around the drip line here. Till I get a gutter on, the water just barrels off that roof, hammers down on the ground, sprays everywhere. So that'll pick up some of that water dropping from the roof and stop that. Anyway, you can see the stubby coming out of the wall there. That is the natural gas barbecue box stubby. And inside, John's finished the natural gas infrastructure installation. Take a peek in here, guys. There's another one directly opposite, or mostly opposite, of the barbecue box. And that there stubby is for natural gas range. If we or anyone else should want to ever put one in, that's ready to go. It's a little bit dark in here, but over here we have a natural gas stubby. I call them stubby, I don't know, for a natural gas fireplace. So that'll go there. So natural gas is done, and as well it goes down into the boiler room. Yeah, okay, the mechanical room, where it will power the combi boiler unit. So that is done. And just moving forward, tomorrow I'm going to fill up all the water systems again, and for the final time, see if they're leaking. And if they are, we'll repair it for the 9th or 10th time. If not, I'm going to call the building inspector. He can come by and tell me if Graham and I have done anything wrong, if anything. And I'll work at fixing that up in the weeks to come, if required. But let's hope that everything's good and he passes it. But first thing I got to do is get everything holding water at the full pressure on the PEX and kind of talked a little bit about that and all this other gray water. So let's do it. Let's get these things done. Natural gas, check. Cha-cha-cha, baby. All right, guys, coming along. A little fire prevention break, ground maintenance. Getting done here with a little leftover gravel. High labor intense, low cost. You know, maybe $50 in wood, if that. Some old concrete stakes that I had around from when I did the footings. Someone had given me those, actually. And just kind of working through this. Today is July 12th, and it's a special day because it is 4 years to the day where I started this project and this channel, and started breaking up the concrete with the diamond cut saw. If you go back to the first 1 or 2 episodes, that's what I'm doing. And that was 4 years ago. It's gone by fairly quickly, and it's been quite an experience. So here we go with year 5, season 5 on the channel. And I just wanted to thank everybody for coming along. It's been great having you check out the progress, check out the episodes. I hope you've learned something. It's not really a learning channel, it's more of a journaling channel. So thanks again for coming along. I'll keep going, and we will prevail one way or the other. So let's do it. Year 5, here we go. So, take a look at what we have here. All right, guys, there it is. For now, I'm actually pretty happy with the amount of gravel that I had. As you can see there, that PEX potable water supply is holding 125 pounds. 125 pounds. It'd be spraying all out over the place if that thing was leaking anywhere. So as far as I know, we're good to go there. This one I've had a lot of trouble with, but you can see there, everything's not leaking and it's all filled up. And then the other one over here. And what's interesting about this, it is not leaking. That compression fitting is not leaking. And it really surprises me. Alrighty, so now that all 3 of the, I don't know, sectors, zones, or whatever, there's 3 separate systems that go into the sewer. And they're all filled up with water, and none of them are leaking. And all the PEX, what they call potable water, that's in the blue and red hot and cold service lines, call that potable water. And in the black sewer line, or whatever you want to call it, it's called gray water. And there's another look at the barbecue box, propane. So things are starting to happen. However, they all need to be supported every 3 feet or less. So these braces and those clips that you see there that are everywhere, I don't know if you've ever turned on a tap. You can hear like a clunking. That's the PEX pressurizing and banging around a little bit. So that's why they want it every 3 feet, so you don't hear those noises. So I'm ready for inspection, guys. I'm just doing one final. Another thing too, this is another thing that he'll be looking for, is wherever there's plumbing that's closer than 1.5 inches to where you're going to be attaching drywall, you have to have these, what they call protection plates. And they just basically hammer on there, little pieces of metal. That doesn't need it because you'd never screw through steel. But, you know, like in a lot of these places like this is probably okay, but, you know, I like to be thorough. so there's no issues. But finally, I think I'm getting very close now. So I'm just going around doing one final check before I call the guy. All right, guys, I really shouldn't be doing this, but I'm gonna have a little fun for a few hours, and I'm gonna refurbish this old cast iron ended bench. And that's something that I procured in my travels. So I'll begin with taking it apart, and I'll paint these ends with a three coats of black acrylic enamel paint, and quite a neat dude's face there, and some stars and some other kind of neat patterns on the ends. But this wood is toast, and I'll give it the old one too, and I'll let you take a look at what it looks like when it's done. I got a nice little spot for it right behind the new house, and we'll do black ends and probably a very similar color configuration. Do like a gray on the actual wood parts, but everything will be new. All the wood will be new, and all the hardware will be new. All right, let's get started on it. Well, that grinder made short work of it. I wasn't about to screw around with those old bolts. They're rusted, and I just cut them off. Did it in like 4 minutes. I don't know. I seem to have a perpetual pile of wood scraps that I can never seem to get rid of. And I wonder why. Oh yeah, I guess I work with wood. I guess I'm stuck with the pile forever. So the thing with these benches are, and I love that guy, I gotta say, I've been picking these up in my travels for the last 15-20 years, probably 15, because in the late 90s you could get these at Canadian Tire or, you know, a retailer for about 50 bucks, and the wood would rot. And so I've been picking them up for years. I must have about 8 by now. And these ones haven't been refurbished for a while, but I did refurbish them. This one doesn't have the guy, has a little flower. They all kind of, same kind of design, but a little bit different. Oh, here's the guy. Here's the guy. Yeah, this is the same model. But, you know, I got to redo all these again. I got a ton of them. There's a few of them around, I gotta say. So this one needs to be touched up a bit. I don't know if I really need that many, but I just find it fun to refurbish them. And so whenever I'm up at the dump, I like to look in the old paint recycling thing and grab old cans of stuff people have thrown away. This had a nice big big rubbery layer on the top that I carved off, but in these summer heat conditions, this paint will be just fine. And it was free. So how much have I got into this project so far? 0. All right, that really dried up nicely. Nice thick coat of acrylic enamel. That won't rust for a very long time. Okay, so the plumbing inspector was here yesterday, and I passed the plumbing inspection. So I'm super delighted that that happened that way, because I really didn't want to start tearing any of the plumbing infrastructure apart. Especially when you get into this kind of stuff, you can't really take it apart. I mean, it's like gluing Lego blocks together. You have to use compression fittings to reassemble it and the whole deal. But not an issue. And the load stack test, like as of right now, this is completely filled up with water with these plug things. That's a 4-inch. Here's an example of a 2.5-inch. And there's a air input, a stem there. You put the air in. This expands and prohibits the water from going down the pipe. So I'm gonna release that one. Now that he's inspected everything, I can release the water. Same deal with the potable water. I can release the water out of the potable system. And yeah, so he could see that none of those elbows, all those, really there's dozens and dozens of glue joints there. So it's important that they can hold a full load of water. So there you go. Pass the test. We're gonna move on to the next thing. Hey guys, this is the end of this episode. It's almost 20 minutes. So if you're still here after 20 minutes, I really appreciate it. And you're a real diehard Build.House with Jim person. And that's cool. So we'll see you next episode. And we're gonna be doing some more fun stuff. We'll talk about it then. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you in the next one.